Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Let's Play Devil May Cry 3, Mission 15, The Gatecrasher. We're just gonna grab the Rising Dragon upgrade for Beowulf, and we'll be on our merry way to starting the mission. These are the Fallen. They have a wicked fallen angel motif, and they can be extremely irritating to fight, though this one's behaving pretty well. A second one should be joining him right about now. They can be annoying to fight because they're able to pass straight through walls and even the floor, which renders them totally unassailable. Oh, that one threw his spear at me and it exploded just out of range. This is going okay, though. This is going pretty well, I would say. Might finish him off right here. Yeah, so the deal is you have to attack the wings to break them, then you expose the angels and you can do real damage. Cool. As for what we got for Beowulf, Volcano is its level 2 Swordmaster ability, that is Zodiac, and this is Hammer, which is a little bit like Sakura's Jump Smash. And finally, we just got this. The Rising Dragon addition to the Beast Uppercut. Named Rising Dragon after Ryu's Shoryuken, which means Rising Dragon Fist. And we'll try to play around with that a little bit. Sadly, some of these enemies are not very apt to getting hit by that. And even fewer of them will actually get juggled, so we might have to save showing off some of these cool new abilities. Woo, that feels good. Until next time, until we're fighting some cannon fodder. So we're gonna beat up this switch to start rotating the tower. This is part 2 of the, let's call it what it is, the budget constraint levels, where they have all these assets that they don't really have the money to just show you once, so they have to remix the areas a little bit and send you back through them again. Mission 15 can be a special kind of torture that Devil May Cry 3 in particular is usually pretty good about sidestepping. It suffers from a kink in the pacing. We can't just have the player navigating the tower and fighting enemies. We have to give them more to do than that. Even though the combat is their core competency, and the level design is usually good enough with all the fetch quest stuff and the item trading, so what they try to do is come up with a way of varying the gameplay up a little bit. And in Devil May Cry, what that usually means is platforming and rooms with a lot of kind of annoying hazards that aren't particularly fun to avoid. Wouldn't you know it, that's the entirety of Mission 15. So it starts off with the room with these previously inactive saw blade gears, which now that they're active, the edges of them can nick you. And to add to that, they're rotating around, they're moving up and down, and you have blood gargoyles. And me walking into one that was off camera. Whoop. Yeah, no Johns for that one, though. But yeah. Not a particularly fun room to avoid, nor are the hazards in this one. Which is normal, like, typical timed pendulum blade style traps, with the addition of these annoying ass Dullahans, which I've started to pinpoint what my problem with the Dullahans is. It's that their bodies effectively have no collision, so once you get behind them and start attacking them, if your attacks carry you forward enough, you can go through their bodies into the shield, which hurts you. And that's kind of stupid. Because all they have to do to prevent that from happening is just add a bigger collision box to them. So that when you attack them, I'm gonna get trapped. This is why I'm not fighting them. It's not worth it. Well, that was dumb. Now we get to do this, except going towards the camera, where it's a little bit harder to see them if you're not being careful. This is not the worst room, nor is the Sawblade Gear Tower here. The Gears of Madness, that's what they're called. The worst one is the return of the funnels. The funnel blades, which should be coming up pretty soon. When Devil May Cry 3 is good, the intensity rises with the self-contained combat arenas. It dips a little bit walking around and doing the item trading, but you need that little dip. A well-paced game needs those highs and lows. And then the intensity ratchets back up again with like a different, harder group of enemies or a different composition. And it dips again with some more item trading, maybe a really light puzzle like the light reflecting one from last time. And then it spikes, and it usually reaches its climax with a boss, and you get to cool off once again after that really intense boss fight with a cutscene or two before the next mission starts. It's a very reliable formula, and it's never boring and it's never fatiguing. And you can plot each mission like that pretty reliably. But sometimes they try to change up what happens in those valleys, and it doesn't always work out so well. Because they're not really using their core competency very well. And in fact, they're going the exact opposite direction with stuff that they're not terribly competent at. And then the other half of this mission is really just revisiting environments and hitting switches. And then backtracking through the environments that you just kind of backtrack through again. So here we're getting another Orhalkin fragment. I have no idea if that's how it's said. Ignoring the spiders in the storeroom. There's no need to fight them whatsoever. And just going and doing this again and again. I'm going to try to use this again, because that worked out before. Okay, good. I mean, it's not terribly difficult. It can be a little bit annoying if you don't have a strategy or a good grip on the controls. It can be annoying, but it's not that hard. But in a way, annoying is worse. Especially when the pacing has been impeccable up to this point. And really, I don't want to overstate the complaint too much, because I think we're through the worst of it, and then even when the game hits a lull like this, I don't think its lows are terrible. And again, this is one mission. This stands out in my mind as the worst mission in the game. And it's relatively short. And none of the other 19 missions really even come close to being this bad. So if you can deal with this as the game's low point, you're in a pretty good spot. Like, if this is the worst the game has to offer, that's fine. It's not like Devil May Cry 2, where the worst thing in the game isn't that much worse than the second worst thing, you know? Or it just has so many problems. I would also say that the enemies in this level, as a whole, are not terribly fun to fight. You have these guys, you have the Fallen in the beginning, the introduction to that enemy, you have the Blood Gargoyles and the Towers of Madness, and you have Dullahans, which are kind of problematic enemies just by programming. Just due to programming, I should say. But we got through the 2 funnel rooms painlessly. Oop. I think I have to hit that switch again, but let me just pop out and see. Oh, yeah, okay, so through the marble throughway, you can get back to the bridge where we fought Garyon. We can go down into his arena and get out to the human world again. but we have no real need or desire to do so. So we're going to hit the switch one more time. And now the tower has rotated back around to one of its original configurations, and since we have all 3 of the key items that we need, we can insert them into that pillar that we passed by kind of without comment near the beginning of the mission. And that'll unlock a new route through the tower. First, though, we get spiders in the storeroom again. Which is fucked up as it is. These are the best enemies in the mission. The Fallen treated me pretty well. I didn't have too many complaints about the beginning of the mission. Just because the Fallen didn't spend a whole lot of time clipping out of bounds of the level. But sometimes they do that and it's a nightmare. It can be really shitty. When they stay in bounds, though, they're okay. I do believe if you kill these enemies with gunfire, you can reliably stop them from splitting in half and forming a clutch of baby spiders. Not always the biggest concern for me, but I just figured I would point that out. In case anyone watching is having a hard time dealing with all the baby spider spawns. I'm pretty sure they only spawn when you kill a spider enemy with melee. Saving this DTE for you! Yeah, you're the one. Took a little bit more punishment than I expected. Not too bad. Ah, no! Getting too antsy with wanting to use Beowulf on these spiders. They're kind of mobile, which is not a good fit for the things I'm trying to do, like the charged up Rising Dragon and stuff. Yeah! Volcano. Volcano could be a really fun one to use sometimes. Okay, we're done with the spiders. We can exit back through the other end of the storeroom to the Devil Sprout lift? That's a sprout or spout? Either way, let's place all the fragments we have collected and open up a new path.
He plucks the threads that make us dance finger and toe. We surrender, in joy, to the lowest of the foul and rank. We submerge through darkness, rancid filth. Hour by hour, we move downward, ever closer to hell, in a slow, steady gait. Now, let the world resonate. Sloth, gluttony, greed, envy, lust, wrath, and pride. A bell of chaos that tolls human desires. After 2,000 long years, the once sealed gate to the demonic world will open. Destruction! Carnage and despair! Let your instincts drive you. Entrap this world in fear, as its very name, timid and gloom, strikes terror into the heart of mankind. Then I will become the ultimate ruler of this wasteland, engulfed with pandemonium. The demonic power that Sparta once imprisoned will be mine!
And that's it. We're kind of painlessly through the game's low point. From here, the sky's the limit. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take it easy. Have a good one.